I'm Kameelah Janan Rasheed, and you're at my exhibition, which is called Everyone Will Be Safe Through the Algebra, which is the second iteration of my project, A Casual Mathematics. And I'm super excited to be speaking with you guys today about this project. The first iteration was in 2019 at Expo Chicago before I went to Gnome Gallery in Berlin. And I'm super excited to have it again in this context. And this project is really interested in thinking about the language of mathematics in relation to poetry and ideas of progress, counting towards a certain future, ideas around uncertainty, and these attempts to sort of visualize what it looks like to be at a certain point. And so as you'll look around the exhibit, you'll see a lot of things that are riffing on either symbols or ideas related to mathematics, notions of doing the long division or showing your work, and thinking about interiority and these ideas of extended and voluminous identities. You also see things that address notions around perimeters or boundaries, and thinking about what it means to be both boundless and what does it mean to think about solutions in progress in terms of what goes beyond the perimeter of what we think is possible. And so in the second iteration, a lot of the same works are used from the previous iteration, but we also have some newer works in addition to some new configurations of sort of this diagrammatic text that's located on the wall. And you'll see in a lot of ways I'm really interested in sort of playing with the idea of a formula and the notion that a formula provides us with a certain sense of comfort and that there's an immediate sense of a solution or finality or a logic to it, and sort of thinking about one question that animates the second iteration, which is what if we're trying to solve a problem for which we don't know all the variables? And so I'm really interested in thinking about the affordances of mathematical language, at the same time what we can't get from a formula, what we can't get from counting, things that cannot be counted or enumerated, and how we need to sort of take an interdisciplinary approach to thinking about progress, but also just thinking about how we sort of sort through what we mean by problem solving or moving towards a radical future where many of the things that we are addressing in this context we don't have to repeatedly address. And so you'll see works on the wall that also sort of address lazy equations because I'm also interested in the ways in which the language of math and formulas can lead us towards this notion that there's A plus B equals something very clear. And so this work that's being featured here, 1 + 1 = 2, and then goes on to say, but lazy equations can trick our efforts. I'm really interested in sort of the lazy math of certain types of approaches to change, which often sort of rely on either symbols of change or representational politics or things that don't actually change material conditions. And so I'm thinking about how we either complicate the math or think about other languages to narrate what we're trying to do that don't rely on sort of these sloppy ways of thinking about futurity.